Well, Claire, there comes a time in every podcast where you need to stretch your wings and leave the conglomerate slash corporation slash family or whatever the hell people are referring to Good Brews, Bad Views. So without further ado, welcome to Relatable Roles, the podcast formerly known as Dicing and Drinking.
Woo! And the crowd goes wild.
Yay.
That's what excited crowds sound like, right?
I believe so. It's been so long since I've been to a sporting event with a sizable crowd.
Yes, that's
That
true.
the sounds of cheering masses are just it's fleeting. It's fleeting. Fly, co-host Claire. Fly.
Yeah, we're here with something brand new. We're very excited. We're going to keep playing the same awesome games, but now we have a special home to do it in.
Podcast formerly known as Dicing and Drinking started as an experiment for Max and Claire to hang out more and record more podcasts. But people really like what we're doing here, and it has gotten to the point where we want to do more, but we don't want to interfere on the Good Brews Bad Views release schedule or anything like that. So we figured it was time to kind of spin this spin-off into its own podcast itself. Plus, as we were under the Good Brews Bad Views label, quote unquote, we had like the beer focused name, but that's not at all part of what we're doing here. I mean, occasionally people are enjoying a beer while we're playing our role-playing games, but figured just the best to differentiate ourselves and do the rebrand. So.
Exactly. Plus, we wanted to figure out a sneaky way to stick a Twin Peaks reference in our podcast name. So here's the Double R podcast, where we play spooky things, which almost sometimes matches up with Twin Peaks.
Yeah. Special thanks to our dear friend Colleen, who designed our awesome new logo and is actually probably more responsible for this podcast than she realizes. As a couple summers ago, she was like, "Hey Max, I want to DM a Dungeons and Dragons game, and I know you play D&D. Would you sit in and be the experienced hand to guide these wayward players into making sure they stick to the adventure?" And I'm like, "Sure." And Claire was one of those players, and we had a great time doing that. And here we are today.
Exactly. If you've listened to the episodes we've released so far under the Diced and Drinking Good Brews Bad Views label / umbrella, hopefully, as you've seen since you found this episode, all of those backdated episodes will be located here as well for your ease of enjoyment, and all of our future episodes will be posted on here as well. Speaking of future episodes, can you give everyone a taste of what's coming up, Max?
Yeah, so we're going to keep doing Delta Green. There's a new episode that's being released alongside of this, one of my own writing, with a number of very, very talented and dear friends within the role-playing game scene. So make sure to check out Operation Obfuscate. But really happy how this one turned out. A lot of fun. We've also got a couple games from designer Greg Stolze. If you listened to our interview a couple months ago, we have $1 Million Soulmates, just a 2-player game of just Claire and I as fictional relationship people, as well as Dueling Pops of Vindemere, which just recently was released to backers from the successful Kickstarter earlier this year. That'll be coming in the future as well. We also have the beginning of what might be our first ongoing Delta Green game. So look forward to Future Perfect in the coming months. But yeah, we have a whole bunch of new players, some returning from the old name of the podcast. So super excited to be playing with all these folks in the coming months and times. We're also changing up our release schedule. Beforehand, we were doing one episode a month on the 20th. Now we are changing to the second and fourth Monday of each month. So you can get a double dose of relatable roles each month.
Which is never a bad thing.
No.
We're doubling up. A DD of the RR, if you will. And then, obviously, we're always open to suggestions for more things we can run in the future. If you want to come play a game with us, we're usually pretty open to that. In the future, I'll be running some Delta Green, so I will be jumping into the handler role for the first time. So we'll let y'all know when that potential train wreck is going to happen. But I'm very excited. I mean, the fall and spooky time is always mine and Max's favorite time of the year, so it feels very appropriate that we're branching out in this new adventure as the leaves are starting to turn and the air is getting crisp and everything's spooky scary all over the place. So we're just leaning in full speed and we're really excited to keep having fun, and we're really lucky that we have found some people who have really liked what we've done so far, and hopefully will keep listening to us, and we'll kind of just grow from there.
All aboard this ghost train. Choo-choo.
Choo-choo!
So, Claire, where can people find Relatable Rules content now?
I was just about to say that with the official release of the new podcast name, we've also updated our contact and social medias. You can find us on Twitter at Relatable Roles. We are on Instagram as Relatable Roles Podcast. Max, where can they email you if they want to complain or have suggestions?
The email is relatableroles@gmail.com. And of course, relatableroles.com, where you can find all of our episodes, past, present, and future.
And I'm assuming the links to all of our social medias will be on that website as well.
Yep.
Awesome. Yep. So if you don't feel like remembering everything, we got them all in a handy spot for you.
Or just, follow me and Claire on Twitter, because I'm sure we'll just be like retweeting every single post in regards to this.
Be obnoxious on Twitter. Our apologies in advance.
Yeah,
we're really not sorry, because we're super excited.
Yeah. More obnoxious than normal.
Yeah. This also means we'll be very much continuing my what at least I think is the funniest thing that I do, which is the spoilers without content for all of our episodes. So if you ever want to figure out what all of those weird pictures mean, you got to listen to our episode. You'll figure it out.
Yep. I always look forward to the images you pick for that, because you find some good ones.
I do my best.
But yeah, you can follow me at MMNESTOROWICH, which is just my name. And you can follow Claire at Claire2, that's the number, the max, Claire2 the max. And from there, you'll find Relatable Roles content. Or you could just, see our non-Relatable Roles content, which is also really good.
Yes. And very self-deprecating, which is usually pretty funny.
As always, you can also hear me gab about beer and movies on Good Brews, Bad Views, as well as Claire, who's a frequent guest and will be on an upcoming episode quite soon. So.
Oh, really?
Yes.
This is exciting news for me.
Surprise!
Yay! Can't wait.
Yep. And a good time was had by all.
Well, we appreciate you listening to our exciting new announcement, and we hope you continue listening to all of our tabletop RPG adventures, the spooky and the non, the romantic and the crazy, on our new podcast, Relatable Roles. Yeah.
Links to all the stuff will be in the blurb for this episode, and thanks for tuning in.
Bye!
Bye-bye!
Bye, Alistair.